Happy Friday, and thank you for making it through an entire week with us here at the Rocketeer Minute, where each and every day, Monday through Friday, we go over the greatest adventure movie that Walt Disney's ever made, the 1991 Joe Johnston-directed feature, The Rocketeer. I'm one of your hosts, Jim O'Kane of TVDads.com.
And I'm Hal Bryan, an airplane nerd from the Experimental Aircraft Association here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And Jim, we're welcoming back your other Darren, as we have said, Mark Cerulli of the Airport Minute, the upcoming 007 Minute, writer, filmmaker, just bon vivant, if I do say so.
Man about town.
Yeah. Man about town. Excellent. Mark Cerulli, welcome back to the Rocketeer Minute. It is always a pleasure to have you on.
Oh, it's great to be back, and man, what a great podcast you guys are doing.
Oh,
we're having so much fun.
It's doing really good. And since you are a man about town, the town we're talking about is Hollywood. We're in the middle of we are in the middle of.
I am such a fan of Jim's segues. I just want to get that on record right now.
That was smooth, man.
It was
like hot butter. So
yes, exactly.
But we're talking about a place a little bit further down. I have to give a backstory here. Mark is very kind to be on our show because we had somebody who was going to be a guest, and then at the last minute they dumped us, and it was from a rather famous Hollywood hotel. But we don't. Anyway, we give everybody has an opportunity, and if they don't want to promote their brand among devoted movie fans and a piece of memorabilia, it's fine. But anyway, we're going to be talking about Hollywood Boulevard, a couple blocks down from the Chinese Theater at a place called the South Seas Club, which is on, if the way this movie looks, it's at the corner of Cherokee and Hollywood Boulevard. But there now.
Oh my God, there is actually a really old-time 1940s bar right there on Cherokee. Because I met my old boss from Cinemax there once.
Really?
And it's like stepping back in time.
Is that Musso and Frank's?
No. It's near Musso and Frank's, but it's just an old-time watering hole.
Okay. Well, this is probably what it looked like in 1938. I mean, it's just this is a fantastic set. I mean, every time we're here, we've been on this set probably as long, Mark, as you and I were in the the Commanders Club. The
Commanders Club.
Yeah, but they do get every last penny out of this big set. I mean, just look at the ice sculptures and all the fountains and things. So we're having a bit of madcap adventure here where the Rocketeer is dressed up as a waiter, is trying to avoid the lumbering.
Who is that actor? The Rondo Hatton lookalike.
That's a fellow named Tiny Ron. He does a lot of lumbering, like Klingon type guys in Star Trek movies, and beautiful, fantastic.
And every time I hear his ironic name, I think of, I know you guys are doing Diamonds Are Forever sometime soon, and I always think about Plenty O'Toole.
Yes.
And in this case, Tiny Ron, named for your mother, perhaps.
Yes.
Named for your mother, perhaps.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I have to say, I mean, I don't know this film as well as you guys, obviously, but just watching this clip, it's so obvious that this is a big-time major Hollywood production, and everything is just perfect. The lighting, the camera moves, I mean, the costuming. It's just gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a thrill.
It's such an interesting choice of tone, too, because, we've talked about it a couple of times and throughout the South Seas segments. There's drama here, but we do dip our toes in that sort of screwball comedy water, and Cliff is trying to escape. And on the one hand, you can argue, okay, him pausing to dance with this woman helps him blend in a little bit, but it also just has that bit of that, that 30s screwball comedy thing that I'm passing through, but, excuse me, cutting in and this sort of thing.
Now, of course, this is, actually, I think Mark, you've met Rick Baker, haven't you? This is Rick Baker's makeup work.
No, I never, I didn't meet. I know who he is, of course.
You've met Stan Winston. That's who
Stan Winston.
Yeah.
Now, for the record, I used to, when I was in the police department, I had a sergeant named Rick Baker, but he was not into makeup or prosthetics of any kind.
He didn't have a King Kong suit in the back?
He did not, but he left law enforcement, and he is now, I swear to you, this is a real thing, he is now a horse chiropractor.
Wow.
I'm just going to leave that right there.
Niche profession, if I ever heard of it.
Yes, it is. You don't see that on the back of a matchbook cover. There's big money in horse chiropractic.
Wow.
There probably is for racehorses.
Yeah, there's got to be.
Yeah.
So he's making a living. So Rick, if you're out there,
give us a call.
Good on you, buddy.
Happy to have you on.
Yes.
Great scene though here with the racing and the running and the jumping and the punching through all the producers' wives and the line editors' grandchildren are all in this movie.
I had never caught this before, but as with all the chasing going on, as Tiny Ron is running up the stairs, I've only ever caught this with headphones, which, sometimes we scrub through these minutes, that's what we're hearing with. There's just, the typical sort of rutabaga kind of murmuring going on. But then there's somebody who says something like, there's never one around when you need one. And I can't tell if he's talking about a waiter or a cop or,
or a 7-foot giant.
Yeah, that could be too. A 7-foot giant with an unusual face or a man with a jetpack. Who knows?
Yeah. I'm just looking at the one scene around second 17, and Mark and I had always appreciated the giant tower o' shrimp that was aboard Transglobal's first class section. But there's a beautiful shrimp cocktail. It's just parked about halfway down you
can see it. Yeah, they're just sort of upstage.
Right there at the expeditors table. And oh gosh. All that ready to be broken glassware. Unfortunately, no plate glass window or a Italian fruit vendor. That seems to be the only thing that's missing from this classic scene. There are buckets of tomatoes and things.
Right.
And we watch him manage to find a heavily locked. Why do you need to heavily lock a laundry room? He's got the Yale lock going there, but it just seems that must be where they keep the crown jewels.
Because he needs it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And at least the fire exit wasn't locked.
Yeah. That's
then he goes out from the kitchen after the fire exit, and then he's trying to get back to the laundry room, as you say, and as you said, it's securely locked because thou shalt not help yourself to a South Seas Club tablecloth.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Or a spoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mark, I don't mean to get too much into inside baseball, but Mark and I have a rather extensive collection of utensils from assorted places.
Right.
I see. Well, that utensils perhaps acquired without necessarily the permission of the management.
Yes. Well, they haven't asked for them back, so we. Well, it's just it's a tradition, and the important thing is just not to clink too loudly.
Clifford, when you borrow something without telling somebody, they call that stealing. Thank you, Alan Arkin.
Yes.
I call it spooning.
Spooning. Yes.
Well, this is a progressive show of the 21st century. If you two want to spoon, you knock yourselves out.
Well, I keep noticing how prescient this movie was as we get to the giant bug-eyed scene of Dear Clifford as he's looking at all the laundry bags, where somewhere underneath all of that his jetpack is hidden. But it does have 2019, which hopefully is the date that the new Rocketeer sequel is coming out. So there's a little piece.
There's an interesting Easter egg right there.
Yeah, so we've got an opportunity there to whenever that comes out, and we can pre-sell this to Disney. But we'll see.
Do you spot anything in the pile of laundry bags that suggests to you that Paul McCartney is dead?
No cranberry sauce? No, I don't know.
Yes, cranberry sauce, Turn Me On, Dead Man, 28 If, all of that.
One of the things I do want to find out is if our super collector fan, Mike Bruno, has that sign that's on the wall where the laundry is, because I don't know what that says, and I've tried a bunch of times to slow down and find it, but it's just all out of focus.
And have you discussed who that lumbering giant is based on, who his makeup is based on?
We talked a little bit about Rondo Hatton, but
Rondo Hatton.
Yeah. He's I'm trying to remember was it the Brute? I can't remember his breakout role. I know he started out.
It was in the 40s.
Yeah.
And he had acromegalia.
Yes.
Which it's the pituitary gland fires up when you're an adult, and
your
bones start expanding and stuff, and that's what gave him that distinctive look.
Yeah,
but supposedly in real life he was a very nice person, very humble guy.
Yeah, he was. From what I understand, he was originally wanted to be a sportscaster, but somebody spotted him in Florida and said, you should be in the movies, and off he went. I think I like Tor Johnson a little bit more, but Rondo had a good.
Tor Johnson.
Tor Johnson,
Swedish wrestler, the Beast of Yucca Flats.
Yes.
I got to acknowledge my brother, who's certainly not listening because he doesn't like good movies. But he will tell you, if you go to him and say, "Oh man, Plan 9 from Outer Space, worst movie of all time," he will just shake his head and say, that movie is 10 times too good to make it into his collection. And I will never forget the first time he forced me and my wife, in fact, to watch The Beast of Yucca Flats. And I thought it was a 6-hour movie by the time it was over, and it's barely 70 minutes.
You get your
money's
money's
worth. Tor
worth.
Johnson walking around sort of grunting, and then there's an airplane circling, and there's a disembodied narration.
Jim can tell you I walk around grunting.
Do you?
Yes, it's rather.
Is there a disembodied narration? Does anybody sort of walk behind?
No,
you
he provides his own. Mark does provide his own disembodied narration. My children get to tell stories, but this is a family show.
Just like I have my own theme music in my head wherever I go.
Yes.
Speaking of theme music, your theme music on this podcast is amazing. Just amazing.
Thank you, Tom Geyer. It just it really cooks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just does.
It's fun. It makes us sound so much better than we actually are.
Yeah, but coming or going, it sounds like a real show.
We'll be playing it shortly, so please, listeners, stand by.
I think that's what people wait for.
Yeah,
if we listen long enough, we'll hear the good music at the end.
It's funny. Tom Taylor of the Indiana Jones Minute, which just finished up, by the way. If you want to listen to a complete one, go listen to the Indiana Jones Minute. It's stem to stern, a great show. But he said
they just finished Temple of Doom, right?
Right.
So then they're taking a break before Last Crusade.
Exactly, and then that fourth one. Oh my gosh. But Tom used to tell me that when he was listening to Airport Minute, he wouldn't go. He would actually be late for work because he'd be sitting in his car waiting for Barry Nelson to remind him to thank Mr. Boeing.
Barry Nelson, the first on-screen James Bond, right?
Yeah, and we'll be talking about him in the 007 Minute coming up in the fall. So all exciting times here.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
Wow, but we're still in the Rocketeer, and we're watching good old Tiny Ron banging that door pretty hard. It's
right.
I bet he was wearing extra padding for sure.
Oh yeah, and I'll bet that door didn't
now,
sound
Ron,
like that.
We really want you to hit this, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Take 3.
You got it. Yeah, you got it.
He's awesome.
So now, is this the first time in the film that we've seen Cliff launch without Peavy there to be knocked over?
Yeah, I mean that's why they had these guys there, and these guys didn't get thrown back far enough. Of course, good old Rondo or Lothar absorbs most of it. I never realized how much of his suit is vest. His vest goes up almost to his neck, and he's wearing that turtleneck. But wow, he's one of the best dressed guys in this too.
He really is.
That's a stunner.
And certainly for the sheer amount of fabric involved, he's one of the most dressed.
Yeah, talk about the whole 9 yards. That's about 9 yards. Right.
Speaking of the whole 9 yards, when you get to almost the very end of this sequence, there is a stunning blonde holding a cigarette in a holder, staring right into the camera.
Yeah, she's.
Yes, as we see Cliff coming out of the ladies' lounge.
Yeah, I don't know if
she's just looking right at it, isn't she?
Right. Joe Johnson's sister, probably. You want to be in the movie, honey? Let me get you.
Right.
Here, have a cigarette. Sit down.
And I'm wondering who the woman is who gets knocked down. The stunt woman there. I hadn't even had a chance to tell you this offline, Jim, but I found out we talked a little bit before we leave the South Seas Club here forever. We've talked a little bit about the mermaid.
Yeah.
I found out, so she's a professional stunt woman.
Oh, okay.
And she's got all kinds of credits, every movie we've ever heard of in the 90s, including Terminator 2, competing against this one. But she was also a wing walker in air shows.
Wow. Okay.
And around the same time, and I'm
convinced she still alive?
That I think so, with due respect, and I'm convinced that that we can find her. But we've passed those scenes, but I don't think we'd care at this point.
It doesn't matter.
On any time we could.
I never realized until just doing a frame by frame that woman really gets flattened at about minute second really 58, 59. She's just boom, and she goes. He makes the split actually there. He knocks the rest of the girls behind him just go ba boom.
And that just made me think of it. These female stunt players, presumably stunt players. I hope so. And
one can dream.
Anyway,
yeah.
But
you're right, man. They go flying.
Yeah, that is wow. So hopefully some of them are still with us and ready to chat because we are kind of running out of minutes here. Is that corn? What is that? What is the painting on the? Or is that tobacco leaves? I can't figure out what those large plants are that are drawn on the wall in the ante room there to the ladies' room. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks a little bit more like tobacco, where they're broad and so close to the ground.
Yeah, I'm not
And
sure.
maybe that denotes that as it's a polite way of denoting that's part of the ladies' smoking area.
Lounge. Yeah, that's probably what that is. Yeah, the smoking area. But
So,
all in all, a pretty good minute. This is kind of a short minute. We've got a lot of things going on. Mark has some Hollywood parties to go to. And,
Yeah.
and he laughs.
That's right. Hollywood parties to get thrown out of.
Yeah.
To get thrown out of.
Who are you again?
Yes.
No, it's like when you're on the Tonight Show and when you're watching the Tonight Show and Jack Benny shows up and Johnny leans over and goes, "Well, Jack, I know you have some other place to go," and he's like, "Yeah, I did." It's like because I don't want to talk to 10 million people. Sure. Oh my gosh, I just found wait, here it is. Notice to all employees, it is your responsibility. Hang on, it's your responsibility to keep your uniform clean.
You found the sign.
Something.
Oh yeah.
What does it say? I can't make that out.
A soiled uniform in something.
Is a something for immediate.
Is cause for.
Is cause for immediate. Is a cause for immediate dismissal.
Thank you, the management.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we found the sign in the laundry room.
Okay, I can rest now. That's
Hollywood can rest easy tonight.
Yeah.
If you need me, I'll be in the smoking lounge.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
That's just too big.
Wow. Okay, no, that's good. Well, I wonder, maybe there are some hotels.
God, Jim, what I'd give for a spoon from that set.
Yeah, South Seas.
If you ever get Joe Johnstone, ask him.
Well, we've got the next best thing. There's a fellow that collects more than you do on about the Rocketeer. This guy has he has Jennifer Connelly's
He must have
dress.
very deep pockets.
Yeah, that's it's quite an amazing. Well, he did this before it was popular. And we've made it more popular, so the value of his loot has increased.
Yeah, he's definitely a
dramatically.
Rocketeer hipster. He was definitely into it before we made it cool.
Yeah, exactly. But we are,
and we're so cool now, Jim, that the Rocketeer himself wanted our autograph.
Yeah, that was an exciting day last week. He was asking for our autographs on a DVD, so we obliged.
Wow.
I have no idea how we got here. None whatsoever.
You're Spartacus.
Yes.
Wow.
I have led you here, sir.
Yeah. So
we do.
This has been quite a 70th minute, and Mark, thanks so much for being a part of this. We're gonna kick up our.
I'm always happy to be your second choice, Jim. You know that.
You're my best. You've always been my best man.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you both for having me on, and
it may happen again. It just depends on which hotel turns us down. Okay, I just wanted to let you know you've been.
And I just want to say, and I won't mention the Roosevelt, but they do make a good martini there, it's a beautiful hotel.
And I would say that of the similar place, they do make those bacon wrapped scallops as an appetizer, which are marvelous and not a bad.
Chicharrones! Oh my God, do they do good chicharrones?
So I may even patronize them one time when we're.
I'll bring my Crestor.
Yeah, they come in a pump spray, I think, now. But
and they're going to check you for spoons on the way out, just so you know.
That's right. Wear your Western boots, Jim.
Even as we speak, there might be a knife in my...
All right, can I just tell this one quick story before I go? So this all started, we were at some wedding or something, and Jim had his Western boots on, and we get up to leave, and I hear this clanking, like the Tin Man. I'm like, what is that? And he pulls, I guess, like 3 spoons out of his boot, and that's where it started.
Yeah, well, no, actually, even before
there was working a knife too.
It's wrong, but it's all over. We've stopped now. We haven't done this for long. What is you're in law enforcement? What is the statute of limitations on silver?
Well, presumably, as long as they don't add up to a felony, then you're probably okay.
We're
Nobody's
fine.
ever.
This was the original plot of Breaking Bad. It was all about spoons.
Yes, exactly. And then somebody came in and said, we focus group the spoons. We didn't think it was strong enough. Let's amp it up a little bit.
Yeah,
yes,
let's go to
when in Hollywood, find a spoon. Yeah, but we'll talk about petty larceny in the near future. But please do not try this at home. Yeah. But Mark, it's been a thrill, and I look forward to the autumn when we are going to take apart diamonds one minute at a time. So we'll try
glorious minute at a time.
Yes, we'll try not to have too many fights in elevators and.
Oh my God! And Joe Robinson just passed. Oh well, we'll save that for the fall.
Yeah.
You can do a week on Connery's sideburns in that movie.
Oh my God! and it's Terry Cloth's shirt in the opening sequence, which I really want.
Yeah, that looks really comfortable.
See, I want the one-piece terry cloth Sansa belt thing with shorts from Goldfinger. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The blue thing, the built-in belt, and then the 80-year-old Felix Leiter that's with it.
All day long.
Well, Mark and I did wait outside the Slumberon funeral home in I forget what town that is, but we did manage to stop ourselves to not walk in on the funeral that was going on.
Ah, well, that's something anyway.
Good self-control. It was very positive. But all these things are in there.
We could have both walked in, and I could have said ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. Or just said, "Hey, is that a Slumberon 2 casket with the chartreuse curtains?"
Or just open the lid and say, "Where's my diamonds?"
right. Paste glass. Where are those damn diamonds? Oh my God.
Yes, Mr. Cerulli. Yes, Mr. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness.
Well, someday we'll get back. We do have to get back to talking about the Rocketeer, but we'll do that next week. So join us here. We're going to talk. If, by the way, while you're listening to this, the mighty EAA Air Venture plane-a-thon. The major
the world's
flying.
greatest aviation celebration.
Exactly. There's 500,000 people with propellers in front of them or on their heads out in the beautiful Wisconsin summertime. But if you're listening to us there, thanks for listening, and go hunt down Hal. He'll be happy to sign your CD.
If you need me, I'll be everywhere.
Yes, he's everywhere. But join us here next Monday when we can all Hal will be waking up from his long winter's nap after folding up all those chairs. Gosh.
Work.
Yes, but we will join you back here on Monday. So pick us up here as we find out where did he go after he left the ladies' room. Poor old Cliff. But we'll see you Monday here on the Rocketeer Minute. So until next time, over and out.